What's up guys, it's Khalete. Today I'm going to be giving you three tips that you can use in the gym in order to increase your bench press 40 to 50 pounds in about 2 to 2.5 months. I was able to use these tips and kind of use these strategies in the gym to increase my bench press from like 245 to 305 in about 2 months, maybe even less. Now that's not my max, but when I first started, my max was probably around 305 pounds. My max now is like 345. And when I first started, I was struggling to bench 245 for only 5 reps. Now I'm up to benching 305 for 5 reps and go for 5 sets of it. And it just felt a lot better using these tips. Obviously, these aren't the only things I did, but these are 3 of the main tips and 3 of the main reasons that my bench press actually went up. Now the first thing I'm going to say, if you're a beginner, or these tips are mainly for beginners who really don't know much about the bench press. I'm still learning about the bench press. I don't know everything, but these are some things I did not know at all that I feel like a lot of people should know. But I am going to tell you that if you're a beginner and you're thinking to yourself that you can't bench more or that you're stuck, I'm telling you right now that you can bench a lot more than you think, and these tips are going to help you get there. The first tip I'm going to give you is that when you come on the bench press to have even hands, a lot of the time, from what I've seen, and when I work out with my friends who are kind of beginners or just getting into it, they'll just put their hands on the bar, and instead of keeping even hands, they'll have like one hand here and then one hand here, and then the bar starts wobbling as they're going down, and they're thinking that, oh, maybe I can't get it or it's too heavy for them, but in reality, the bar is off balance. So when they're going down, the bar is here, and then this hand is going up. So the one thing you want to do is keep even hands. What I would say is there's usually 2 rings on a bar in the gym. Try to keep your pinky on the ring, or if you want to go a little bit wider, keep your ring finger on the bar in order to keep your hands even. And doing this, when you have your hands even, it allows you to control the bar more as you're going down. So my second tip is that when you come to the bench press, you want to keep a little bit of an arch in your back. You don't want to arch in your back to where your butt is off the bench press. You want to keep an arch where your butt is still on the bench press, but your back comes off a little bit more, and try to squeeze your shoulder blades and get your chest up a little bit more. Now when you're bringing the bar down, you want to bring it here, then push up instead of coming down to around this area. Doing this, you can injure yourself like that just because you're using more of your shoulders. And if you're benching heavy weight, you bringing it down and like trying to like rely on your shoulders more than anything rather than your chest, it can cause injury, and you're probably not going to move the weight as efficiently as you can. Now when you do bench and when you do arch your back, what I would say is to keep your feet flat on the ground. A lot of the times, sometimes you arch your back, and even I still do it sometimes. I'm trying to get that, trying to change that habit. You want to keep your feet flat on the floor. Keeping your feet flat on the floor allows you to kind of drive more. You can't drive as much if your toes are up, so keep your feet flat on the floor and try to keep a tight body as you're arching your back. And my third and last tip to you is more workout advice from my experience. What I would try to do if I were you, or if you're watching this video and you want to increase your bench press, is to try and work on your bench press twice a week. So for example, for me, I'll try to go in on Monday and I'll try to do 5 sets at 310 for 3 reps, and that's my heavy day. And then I'll come back later that week on a Friday and kind of work with lighter weight. I would say maybe around like 265 to 275. And really what that does for me is allows me to practice and kind of figure out what works for me. What I mean by figuring out what works for you and kind of getting that practice, I'll give you an example. So one of the things I'm trying to figure out right now, like I said, I don't know everything about the bench, so I'm trying to learn as much as possible. But one of the things that I was taught was to kind of keep either your middle finger or your ring finger on the rings of the bar when you're bench pressing. Now that doesn't work for me. I feel like it's a lot harder for me, so I try to keep my my pinkies on it instead of my ring finger or my middle finger, and that's just what works for me. And I'm trying to figure out maybe how I can become more efficient. So what I would say is have a heavy lifting day on a Monday or earlier in the week, in order so you can actually get in that work of pushing yourself and try to move as much weight as possible, and then come in later, try to figure out and practice what works for you. So I'm also going to give you guys another piece of workout advice that I did, again, in my experience. It worked for me. I guarantee it will work for you. One of the things I usually do after a heavy lifting day, let's say I do 5 sets, like I mentioned, 5 sets to 310 for 3 reps. Immediately after my last set, I'll do 1 set of 5 by I'll take about 30 pounds off. So I'll go from 310 to 280, do 1 set of 5, then drop the weight again to about 225 and do as many reps as I can and try to create some endurance. So try that next time you're in a gym. Kind of try to push yourself after you do those 5 sets. Don't stop there and be happy. Try to push yourself a little bit more and create some endurance so you can lift more. So guys, use these 3 tips. I guarantee that your bench press will go up 2 to 2.5 months. We'll see results. I hope I was able to help. I'll see you guys later.